We're going to talk right now about setting the working directory, which is very important because work is often done on more than one computer. So let's just say that we have computer A in blue and computer B in purple. And these can represent different things. So computer A can be you, whereas computer B can be another person. Computer A instead can be your current self, whereas computer B is your future self. Or sometimes you're using more than one computer. So for example, you can be doing analysis on your personal computer at home, but on the server while you're at work. And the problem is that each of these computers are not exactly equal. So in order for you to get to the file where you're going to analyze the data, which for example is your analysis folder, you might have to take a different path to get there. So for example, in computer B, it might start off on the projects folder and then go to reading, and then from reading you get to analysis. And on computer A, it may be slightly different. So maybe this is a student's computer, so they start off on the work they're doing with me, and then they go to something called read, and then from read they get to analysis. Once you get to analysis, everything ought to be the same. So there ought to be some source documents, there ought to be some generated files, such as, for example, the cataract data. And then there may be some do files as well. So, for example, read, prep clean, then cataract, do. So when you have these different computers, you actually want to be running the same set of commands which get you to the same file. So this is going to be very important for commands such as use or import or do. For each of these, you're going to have to actually specify an individual file. And if you had to go through the entire pathway to get to a specific file, it's going to differ on A or B. So for A, for example, to get to cataract DTA, you would have to go Romelu, read, analysis, generated, cataract. Whereas in computer B, you'd have to go to projects, reading, analysis, generated, what one notices, however, is that past a certain point, these are the same. So what one actually wants to do is one wants to fix the directory starting with analysis, in which case what's upstream can differ between the two, but what is downstream is the same. And to do this, we have to change the working directory. So let's show you how to actually do this within STATA. Let's use an example. So if I actually wanted to use a specific file, so now I want to use within my analysis folder, I want to use a generated file which is called read cataract DTA. One option is to actually open that file, but in order to open it, I would actually have to start out and specify the entire pathway to get there. So I'll say File and Open. And if I had to start from the beginning, I'd have to go to Work, Projects, I have to go to that specific project, my analysis folder, the generated folder, and click on that and open it. And you can see what it actually gives me. It says use, and it gives me all these different folders. But of course, if I ran this command on a different computer, unless the folder structure were exactly the same all the way from the beginning, which it's not going to be, it wouldn't be able to run. What I can instead do is I can change the working directory. So I start with this analysis folder. So now I'm going to go through the same pathway. I'm going to go work, projects, reading, and glaucoma and dry eye. And I'm going to fix myself on this analysis folder and choose that as the working directory. And now if I want to use that same folder, I don't have to type in everything except what comes after the analysis and the slash. So I can just copy this and put that in there. And you can see that it gives me the same set of variables and labels and everything else. So if I had set my working directory to the analysis folder on a different computer, even if all of this had been different, I would get the same results. And so it allows me to essentially do a parallel analysis on two different machines, even though the folder structure might be different. This is extremely important if there's going to be more than one person working on things, or even if only one person is working on things, but they anticipate needing to use different computers at different times. Thank you.